Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Max Talks Movies. And today, I have a very special video for you guys today. It's not a movie, it's a limited series / TV movie on Apple Plus, which just concluded last night, Friday, May 29th. And the show is called Defending Jacob. So, guys, before I start going into my non-spoiler review of Defending Jacob, leave your comments down below. Have you seen Defending Jacob? In non-spoiler fashion, please tell me your thoughts of the show down below. If you are looking forward to seeing the show and you want to know if you want to say, let me know down below, how excited are you to start watching Defending Jacob? So because it's a TV movie, I felt like why not just do a review of the show. It is 8 episodes long. Apple Plus is a streaming service, so you can only see this exclusively on Apple Plus. The first 3 episodes were released on one day. Then since then, it's been once a week. And last night was the concluding episodes. The episodes are normally 45 minutes, but the finale last night was 1:05. So the show stars Chris Evans, Michelle Dockery, and Jaden Martell. It is about a kid is brutally murdered in this town where the Barbers live, which is the family of Chris Evans, Dockery, and Martell. Chris Evans is works for the police. He's one of the head investigators, and he becomes one of the head investigators of this case. And it's one of his son, Jacob Barber, played by Jaden Martell. One of his classmates is killed. So we find out later that they believe that Jacob was the one who actually murdered Ben Rifkin, who's the kid who was murdered. So they kick Chris Evans off the case, and now it becomes, you're looking at a case of a person who possibly murdered someone from the family's point of view. So this is based off of a book, and don't forget, this is a non-spoiler review. If you guys are interested, though, you like this review so much, please let me down below. I will do a spoiler review for you guys if you guys are interested. If you guys are, please let me know down below. I think this is an extremely solid show. This 8-episode show, it's a limited series as of now. Have not heard any news on a possible season 2. But the show is really well acted and well directed. The director and one of the showrunners is Morton Tildum, who I'm a huge fan of because he directed The Imitation Game, which was one of my favorite movies of that past year. And I thought at that year, 2014, I wish that movie got more praise in the Academy Awards. That movie was about Alan Turing. So this feels like a very realistic show and a very unique show, learning about a possible kid who murdered someone and how that affects their family. Does Chris Evans and Michelle Dockery actually really know their kid? And at times they do have to, at times, believe that their kid actually was killed that kid. And it's really depressing. Now the show, if you're not into this type of core kind of drama, the show can drag for you. It's very slow. There's not a lot of excitement. It's not very high energy, but the show is very well acted. Chris Evans is, in my opinion, on a roll following his post-MCU departure in Avengers Endgame. I thought he was brilliant in Knives Out, but here he is the main lead. And well, not really main. Him and Michelle Dockery are the leads. Chris Evans gives probably one of his best performances of his career. It's definitely one of his best dramatic role that he's ever done. And just his position of being a DA and then being the head of investigation of this case and then learning his son is the primary suspect of the intent of murder. Just how that affects him and the fact that he knows just the ways to get around this type of stuff and knows the strategies into this particular court case. But I do believe Michelle Dockery, who I know is a huge person on Downton Abbey and other things as well, but I did not see her in anything. So I was kind of blind with her heading into the show. And she probably gives the strongest performance of the show, especially those last 2 episodes. Really great work from Michelle Dockery. She also works, I think I'm like a graphic designer or something. I could be wrong there. But and just the experience of her friends are just not supporting her after her kid is possibly charged with murder. The way that just no one supports her, and just she's kind of the one who really does believe at times that this is her kid is a murderer because she has had past memories that he might have some aggression. Jaden Martell, who was in the It movies, is as the lead in the first one, and James McAvoy played him in the second one. He also gives a really good performance of being the middle ground. Sometimes you think that he did murder Ben Rifkin, but at times also you believe he didn't, and you believe he is innocent. The fact that you're bouncing back and forth, probably each episode, think that some episodes you think he clearly did it, especially episode 6. But once you get into episode 7, you could really already think that he didn't do it. So stuff like that is so fascinating. The attorney as well, the character's name Joanne, I don't know the actor's name, really great performance as well. She seems like the perfect attorney for this family. There is a major actor that is in episode 4, and he continues to be in the show for the rest of the season. And I don't want to say his name here in a non-spoiler review because I had no idea he was in the show when the episode dropped. I mean, it's a big actor, Oscar award-winning actor who plays Chris Evans' father. I'm not going to say who it is, but he gives a really good performance, and his relationship with Chris Evans is, again, really good. But the show does a great job of balancing the fact that you really just don't know who killed Ben Rifkin. And you also get a view of Ben Rifkin's parents as well throughout the show. I do think episode 7 was my favorite episode. It was basically just a court episode of everything happening in court. What everyone's talking about in the court, how swayed people are that Jacob Barber, played by Jaden Martell, definitely did it. And at times you're not rooting for Jacob Barber, but you are rooting for these parents because the parents just, it feels like they don't really know their child to their full potential. And that's what's great, just knowing as parents that you don't completely understand your child and what he does. And also what the show has an advantage of, because it does, people might be looking at the show as another court drama, law, criminal type of show. But the fact that this uses technology in such a huge way of how each social media post, each text message, each joke that he made before this incident happened, all now gets registered into this case, and how important it is whatever you say on social media can affect you, even if you're innocent. And that is something that was brought up in the show really brilliantly. So I was really happy the way that they handled technology, how important it was that he should stay off his phone while they are being investigated, the way that every time they go out to dinner, they're getting looked at. Every time Michelle Dockery has to go to the supermarket at 6 a.m. right when they open because they don't want a whole floodgates to open on themselves. It's a really, really well-driven show. Now, the show is still missing a good piece. I think the ending, the season finale, which was last night, I'm pretty still divisive on. I'm not sure if I enjoyed it. I'm not sure if it was a disappointing ending. I can't really talk about specifics, but the ending doesn't really give you an answer on if he did it. And that is not a spoiler. It's just what it is. It feels like that if they're not setting up a season 2, this is going to be a very disappointing ending to Defending Jacob, in my opinion. And I really, watching the show, I didn't think this needed a second season. I thought a great second season, in my opinion, could have been a second season of Defending Jacob, but really from the point of view of Ben Rifkin's parents and how do they know all this information? That's a really unique idea. But it feels like the show is giving you a cliffhanger to a possible season 2. And if they're not, they're really leaving this case up in the air, which I don't like this show to have. Now, I like when shows just don't give you the answer, and that is cool. But this is the type of show for me that needs an answer, needs a visual representation of what happened. Also, there are a lot of storylines that happen in the show that are completely forgotten, especially in the last 2 to 3 episodes. Some of Jaden Martell's friends, who he is friends with and who he's not friends with, are completely forgotten of in the last 2 episodes. He meets this nice girl, and they keep talking, and then once we get into the thick of things, after she tells Chris Evans a story of a phone, she is not in the show anymore. I thought they had the best relationship, Jaden Martell and this girl, who actually was performed very well. The father character is literally just in prison the whole show, so you don't really feel like he has any huge presence on the show until maybe the last episode. As well as I don't know if they want you to not root behind this kid, but at times you really don't care about this kid. And for me, you want to at least care for the kid, even if he possibly didn't. So I think that there's a lot of missteps as well in the show. They do take a weird vacation. I'm not going to explain what happens on that vacation. There is a vacation once this case is over, and it is very weird. And it was a very out of the blue storyline. I think the 8th episode is also quite predictable. Once a huge thing happens in the first 5 minutes of the episode, you know they still have an hour left. So yeah, you know something's not going to go right. And that was another issue with the show. But the show was thrilling. It was very well acted by Chris Evans, Michelle Dockery, and Jaden Martell, who I all think should be considered if we get an Emmys award ceremony this year. So I think the show should be nominated for a limited series. I'm still pretty divisive on the ending. I really need to think over this ending, and maybe if I do a spoiler review, I can get into it more if I like the ending or not. But I think the actors for sure should be nominated, especially Dockery, who gives a really great performance. You are rooting for these parents, and you're really interested in how this story will end. And that's a great thing. Now, if you're not into this, it is a slow burn. Again, it's a very slow burn. I gave this show a 3.5 out of 5 stars, a 77%. So I think it's an extremely solid show. It's 8 episodes. And I think if you guys haven't watched it, now is the time, because I think this show is very bingeable. Having it go week to week was kind of difficult for me. I think this show is a very bingeable show. Each ending episode makes me want to click on the next episode. But since they went to once a week, it's been tough. I've been watching it and I was like, wow, I really want to watch more of this story. But I have to wait a whole other week. Now, guys, if you haven't seen the show, I think this is a great time to watch it, because I think it might benefit for already being out because it's very bingeable. So that is my review of Defending Jacob. My name is Max Dinnenberg. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's at DinnenbergMax, one word. It'll be in the description below. DinnenbergMax, one word. The D is capitalized. If you want to find me on Instagram and Letterboxd, that's Max Dinnenberg, one word. I already have my review up for Defending Jacob on there as well. I'm going to keep posting more videos here as much as I can. Really appreciate the support. Already on Max Talks Movies, this YouTube channel, I have 4 videos. I have reviews of The Wrong Missy, The Lovebirds, John Henry, and yesterday I did my ranking of all the movies I saw in the month of May. So please check all 4 videos out. For this video in particular, please like, subscribe to my channel. You'll get a lot of videos in the incoming future. This Friday coming up is a new Netflix movie. I'll be reviewing that on Friday as well. And we have a lot of movies to come in June, some Disney Plus movies and some Netflix movies that I need to talk about on this channel. So please like, subscribe, share, and comment down below. If you have seen Defending Jacob, do you agree with my opinion? What are your non-spoiler thoughts of the show down below? If you haven't seen the show, did I help get you more excited for the show? And are you going to watch the show? Come back to the comments and tell me your thoughts of Defending Jacob. My name is also, before I ask you, before I go, you can also find me on the $1 Million Podcast. It's a podcast I'm doing with my friend Dylan Dayton. We are on every Thursday and Saturday on podbean.com. Go to podbean.com, search up $1 Million Podcast. We talk sports, movies, and wrestling. If you're into any of those 3 things, I would highly recommend going into that show. Today, for example, I broke down HBO Max. That's all I can talk about today. Defending Jacob, extremely solid show, exclusively Apple Plus, limited series, 8 episodes. Thanks for joining me. My name's Max Dinnenberg, and I'll see you next time.